In any high-stakes conversation, think a negotiation, a performance review, any tough talk, there's this hidden source of power. And it's not what you say or how smart your arguments are. No, it's found in the gaps, in the quiet. Today, we're going to dissect the anatomy of strategic silence. It's a tool so powerful, it can completely dismantle an opponent's position without you having to say a single word.
Just let that sink in for a second. Our gut tells us to watch out for the loud one, the aggressor, right? But the real control, the actual leverage, often belongs to the person who has mastered the art of saying nothing at all. And that's the paradox we're diving into today. So, the first thing we have to get our heads around is a concept called the ghost tactic. It's this wild method of influence that basically weaponizes your opponent's own anxiety against them. It's about achieving dominance not through force, but through absolute stillness.
Look, we've all been taught that to win an argument, you have to make your case. You fill the air with facts, reasons, and rebuttals. But what if that's the whole trap? Every single word you utter when you're feeling that pressure is a piece of data you are giving away for free. You're not gaining ground, you're literally leaking leverage. And this isn't just some abstract theory. We've all felt this happen. Let's talk about what's actually going on when you're on the receiving end of strategic silence and how it quietly forces you to negotiate against yourself. We've all been there.
Oh, you know this feeling. You state your price, you make your point, and you get nothing back. Just a blank stare. No nod, no zero. And all of a sudden, your skin starts to crawl, right? That intense physical urge to say something, anything, just to break that tension. That is the conversational itch. And believe me, it is incredibly hard to resist. And what happens when you scratch that itch? Well, you get what we call limbic leakage. Your primal emotional brain, your limbic system, it just hijacks the cockpit. It starts screaming, "This is awkward, this is uncomfortable, make it stop." And just like that, your entire rational strategy flies right out the window. You start over-explaining, you apologize for no reason, maybe you even lower your price just to get a nod, any sign of social comfort. You just traded real power for a little bit of comfort. And this isn't just some harmless habit. It is a process of status atrophy. It's the slow, steady erosion of your position. By the time the other person finally decides to speak, you've already done all their work for them. You've literally talked yourself into a weaker position, all because of a few seconds of quiet. It seems totally irrational, doesn't it? Why on earth would our brains be wired to self-sabotage like this in moments that really matter? Well, it turns out it's not a character flaw. It's actually a feature of our neurology. There's a hidden mechanism at work here. Okay, let's pull back the curtain and look at the engine that drives this whole thing. It's a 4-stage system, and we call it the vacuum performance loop. This is exactly how silent authority is built, and it's how you are subtly maneuvered into becoming the only person performing in the conversation. This loop plays out in 4 very clear stages, and each one is designed to strip leverage away from you piece by piece. Understanding this sequence is absolutely the key to breaking free from it, and it all starts with creating a void, right where you'd expect to get some feedback. So here's how it begins. The other person deliberately withholds those little signals we expect in a normal conversation. You know, the nod, the I see. By just leaving your statement hanging in the air, they create a feedback vacuum. And this instantly triggers an alarm in your brain called the error monitoring system, which basically flashes a warning sign that says, hey, something might be wrong with what we just said. Now, what happens next is where the trap really snaps shut. See, because you have absolutely no data coming in about what they're thinking, your brain does what it's designed to do. It fills in the blanks. And it rarely fills them with sunshine and rainbows. It projects your deepest anxieties into that silence. Oh, they're angry. I said something stupid. This deal is dead. And now you're in a battle against a ghost that you yourself just brought to life. So, to escape the psychological pain of this trap that you just built, you do the one thing that feels like a relief. You start talking. You clarify, you justify, you concede. But you're not just talking, you are leaking critical intelligence. Your bottom line, your fears, your deadlines, your real agenda, it all comes pouring out. This is the information harvest. The silent party is basically downloading your entire strategic map, and they haven't had to give up a single thing. This is the exact moment that control flips. And then, finally, once they've harvested everything they need, they speak. But now they don't have to argue or guess. They can use the precise data you just handed them to surgically dismantle your position. They win. Not by using their own energy, but by weaponizing all the energy you just wasted trying to fill the quiet. It's a perfectly lopsided victory.
So we've seen how the loop works, but why is it so ridiculously effective? I mean, what's going on that makes us so vulnerable? The answer lies deep inside our own cognitive wiring. Let's dig into the psychology that makes silence such a potent weapon.
Okay, the main driver here is something called the Zeigarnik effect. To put it simply, our brains are biologically wired to crave closure, an unanswered question, an unacknowledged statement. These things create what psychologists call open loops in our minds. And these open loops don't just feel a little awkward, they cause real, genuine neurological stress. Your brain will do almost anything to close that loop, and that includes giving up precious leverage. And this brings us to the single most important reframe you have to make. On the left, that's what you feel, the fear, the anxiety, the self-doubt. But on the right, that's what is actually happening. A biological process is unfolding. Your brain is just desperately trying to close an open loop. It's not a judgment on you. It's not a reflection of your idea. It is a tactic being deployed against your biology. The second you see it for what it is, a mechanism, not a personal failure, you start to take its power away. And there are a few other traps that make this even more intense. You've got the spotlight effect, which is our tendency to think the silence is all about us. Then there's cognitive dissonance, which gives us a great excuse, oh, I'm just being thorough, when really we're just reacting emotionally. Our brains can even process their silence as a kind of social debt that we feel we have to repay with words. And finally, we just automatically mistake their stillness for certainty and power, when really they might just be waiting for you to hand it over. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, we understand the mechanism inside and out. Now for the most important part, the solution. How do you neutralize this tactic? How do you take back control when you're faced with strategic silence? All right, the fundamental mental shift you have to make is this. You must stop performing. The entire loop is designed to make you the performer, the one burning all the energy, tap dancing to please an audience of one. The counter move is to consciously shift your role. You are no longer the performer. You are now the observer, just calmly watching a tactic unfold and choosing not to play. That is how you reclaim what we call executive sovereignty.
Here are 4 very concrete steps you can take to do just that. Now, they're simple, but they're not always easy. They take real conscious effort. Let's break them down. First, and honestly, this is the most important one, the breathe and wait rule. The second you finish your sentence, you're going to do 2 things. First, physically put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It sounds weird, I know, but it makes it physically harder to just start talking impulsively. Then, breathe slowly through your nose and silently count to 10. This simple act short-circuits that panic response and gives your rational brain a chance to get back in control. Do not add anything. Do not clarify. Just wait. Now, if that silence goes on and it really feels like a pressure tactic, you can deploy the mirror question. This is a game-changing move. You say something like this. You're calmly acknowledging the silence, and you're gently forcing them to open up their black box of a mind. So you're not being aggressive, you're just being curious. This immediately restores balance to the conversation and puts the pressure right back where it belongs, on them. And finally, you have to lock down your physical and mental frame. Your body language is screaming information, so make it say the right thing. Sit or stand with a confident, high-status posture. Do not fidget. Hold soft, steady eye contact. This signals to your brain and to theirs that you are completely comfortable in this vacuum. And in your head, keep auditing the intent. Remind yourself over and over, this is just a data gap. It is empty air. It is not a judgment on you or your idea. When you stop fearing the void, it can no longer control you.
All of this builds to one final powerful idea. This isn't just about defending against a tactic. It's about completely changing your relationship with silence itself. This is a hard truth that goes against everything we're taught about persuasion. We think more words means more influence, but so often the opposite is true. In any negotiation, the person doing most of the talking is usually the one doing most of the conceding. Real power isn't about getting the last word in. It's about being totally okay when there are no words at all.
And here's the most empowering part of all of this, that vacuum performance loop. It's powerful, for sure, but it has one critical weakness. It only works if you don't know what's happening. The second you can see the machinery, the moment you can say to yourself, okay, this is the feedback vacuum, or my brain is falling into the projection trap, the whole system just collapses. Your awareness is your immunity. So here it is, the ultimate takeaway from all of this. The silence is not your enemy. It's just empty space. It has zero power until you hand it power by filling it with your own anxiety. Your job is to stop performing for the pause. Let it hang in the air. Let the other person feel that itch for a change. Learn to be still. Learn to be quiet. Own the vacuum.